Hey guys, Dustin here, and welcome to yet another Horroritis. So, last week we did 2 movies in one video, and this week we're going to do it again. This time we're going to do Parasyte Part 1 and Parasyte Part 2. And those are actually the names, Parasyte Part 1, Parasyte Part 2. Now, these are a couple movies based on a Japanese anime where alien parasites show up and take over people and then try to take over the world. It's basically a Japanese invasion of the body snatchers, but because it's Japanese, it's got all sorts of weird goodness. So let's jump in, and before we do, a quick warning, there will be spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie, which you almost definitely haven't, be warned. Okay, so the reason I'm doing both of these movies together is because it feels like they were shot as one movie and split down the middle. The story really does feel like it ends in the middle at the end of the first movie, so you really need to watch both of these back to back if you can. So basically, like I said, this movie is these parasites. We're not entirely sure if they're from space. I think they might be. It doesn't really explain it in the movie, but they show up and they crawl in your ear and they take over your brain. They eat your brain, actually, and then they take over your body. So the main character of the story, he's laying in bed, but he's got his headphones in, so the parasite can't actually get into his ear. So what it does is it infects his right hand, but it can only take over his right hand. So he no longer has a right hand, but instead he has this alien parasite that, just lives on his right hand, can take the shape of his right hand, can kind of shapeshift into a couple different things, but it has its own consciousness, and eventually it teaches itself to talk, and it learns and becomes its own kind of creature, and they kind of learn to live with each other and learn from each other. Now, the rest of the parasites are eating people, and the cool thing about these parasites is their heads open up, and they use these flaps of their heads that stretch out, and they're like super sharp because they slice through everything. They're slicing people up and then they're eating them. Of course, it's CGI, but the effects, the visuals there are just really kind of cool. So the cool thing about these movies is that while these things are kind of eating humans, they're also kind of trying to live under the radar at the same time, while at the same time trying to take over humanity. They're starting to occupy levels of government, and they're, kind of blending in. And there's one who takes over a woman's body, and she actually, as an experiment, decides to get pregnant to see if 2 parasites using human bodies can create a human. And then once they do create a human baby, then she kind of wants to see if she can learn what it's like to be a mother. So she gives birth to the baby and tries to raise the baby. And, she's lacking the humanity that people have, and so she doesn't really understand how to be a mother. At the same time, though, our main character with his right hand parasite, they're actually learning from each other. So the parasite on his hand is actually learning to be more humane and, understand what humans are all about. But at the same time, it's influencing our main character there. His name is Shinichi. I'm going to double check that real quick. You hold on. Shinichi. That was correct. So Shinichi is actually becoming less human at times. He doesn't understand why like a dead dog on the road isn't just garbage now, because it's just flesh and bone. And he, his mother dies and he can't cry about it. He just, of course, he gets angry and tracks down the parasite that killed his mother and then consequently took his mother's body over. At the same time, he's still trying to be, a normal high school kid and dealing with girls and social pressures and stuff like that. So these movies, they're like all the stuff that was really cool about like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but with a whole lot of weird Japanese CGI thrown in. And it also explores, some deeper elements, like what is it to be human, and can these parasites learn to be human? Can humans and these parasites coexist? Can there be a meaningful connection between either two of them together, or, you know, just it's kind of there's a deeper level there that's hidden underneath all the flashy CGI. So these movies are definitely worth watching. I, of course, would highly recommend them. I don't often review movies that I wouldn't recommend, to tell you the truth, now that I think about it. That's kind of weird, but hey, I like to make positive videos, more or less. So, of course, I would recommend these movies. They are really good, but you have to watch them together, otherwise you're just gonna miss a bunch of stuff. So, like, both movies together is one complete story. Don't cut them in half. So that's my review for Parasyte Part 1 and Parasyte Part 2. Let me know in the description what you thought. Have you seen this movie? Did you like this movie? Also, leave any suggestions for other videos you would like to see. Hit the thumbs up button if you like this video. Thumbs down if you didn't. Any interaction is good for the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because I've got more videos coming. Social media links are in the description, and that should be it. So, as always, I'm Dustin, this was Horroritis, and until next time, keep it creepy.